Hi Jack, hi Jack, hi Jack. We're at Backyard Bike Shop with Nick and we are setting up some Enve AG28s, which is a 650B wheel, which I'm going to use on this bike for Battle of the Beach. Nick is a very good bike mechanic and he's going to just give some of his tubeless setup tips because you are King Tubeless.
I think everybody makes a mistake, and the important thing is to have the right wheels, the right tires, and most importantly, the right sealant. So like if any of your mates go about saying that they've tried tubeless and didn't work, it's because one of those three things weren't right. Sealant from like 4 years ago just isn't good enough anymore. Obviously with mountain bikes and gravel it's much easier because the tires aren't running very high pressures. But yeah, I like WTB sealant. Chris has brought in the Styrkr, it's really good stuff. For road bikes, definitely recommend that. Obviously don't do it like this, measure. I do this about 7 times a day, so I'm good at guesstimating by now, and it just works. Yeah, your tires can lose a bit of pressure the first day, overnight. Don't let it panic you, just essentially pump them up and ride them.
That's because it needs to get the sealant.
Yeah, spin around, just kind of, there'll be loads of micro holes and things that just need to be sealed. These Enve wheels are really bad for leaking at the valves when it starts out, and then essentially after a couple of days, it just seals it. It's good to go. I personally don't like those charged up air inflators because I think they overcharge the tires and they explode on you. I prefer using my compressor, but obviously I understand that most people won't have compressors at their house.
What do you call that?
See, that's just essentially going through there where it's leaking slightly from the taping, and then that'll just seal the hole. If it's good sealant. If you've got cheap sealant, it's not going to do anything. Also, we try everything, all the different sealants and stuff. So don't just because I always say to people, stress test where you get your information from. If somebody's only used one thing, then they're not a good source of information. Also, we don't sell inner tubes in our shop at all. So everybody in here is on tubeless. So we've got a lot of quite a few years now of just experience of different people riding gravel, riding road with different setups. And we can see what works better and what works worse. Back in the day, we used the Freighter Mariposa and stands. It still worked really well, but on gravel, on average, we were getting it was sealing 6 out of 10 punctures. The other 4 you had to plug. With Styrkr at the moment for sealing, I've got 100% success rate. I haven't actually had to plug a single tire yet that I put Styrkr in. So it's gonna happen. Obviously, there'll be something where there's a massive cut or something like that, but small holes, it just seals every time. So it's worthwhile to have, but you can't put it in through the valve. You have to pour it into the tire because the carbon fiber particles actually seal it'll just, seal your valve. That's it, ready to go. Probably my favorite set of wheels out there at the moment for gravel riding. In terms of tires, Schwalbe's particularly good for just working tubeless. Conti makes good tires as well. Vittoria sets up really easily. The bigger volume your tire is, so the bigger the size, the easier it works with tubeless. If you're running 25mm tires for road bikes, it's still a bit of a touch and go. You need the bigger volume. Something like this, if you had to get a puncture, it'll seal and you'll be back on your bike riding without even noticing most of the time. Where on road tires, you do sometimes have to actually carry a spare, like a pump to inflate it. I personally don't think anybody should use CO2 on tubeless unless it's an emergency. And then also change the way you think about punctures and the process. A lot of people complain to me that it's messy, but when you get a puncture with an inner tube in the winter, you're stopping, your bike's getting turned upside down, your wheel's getting taken off, the tire has to come out, the inner tube has to come out, you have to find the glass inside the tire, otherwise you're going to have a puncture again. Stick your inner tube in, hope you don't pinch it, get your tire back on, inflate it, put your wheel back on, get your chain back on. It's just a massive nightmare. With tubeless, if the sealant doesn't seal the hole, you stick a plug in. If you use something like a Dynaplug or WTB system, it's literally take it out, find the hole, stick it in, pull it out, inflate your tire, off you go. James, who works for me actually a couple of weeks ago, had a puncture in his road bike. Well, he wasn't sure, it probably would have sealed, but he could see the sealant coming through the tire, and he just literally rolled up to a red light, stopped, took his Dynaplug in, plugged it, pulled it out, and carried on riding before the light was green. So it's much easier. Worst case scenario, everything goes wrong. It doesn't seal, you don't have a plug, everything's gone wrong. You're just back to when you've had an inner tube. You're stopping, taking your wheel off, taking your tire off, putting an inner tube in. So you're not any worse off. Also, I think the biggest tip is people don't see it as a solution for like 100% foolproof solution. You're not buying tubeless thinking you're never going to get a puncture again. It's more of a, if it seals one puncture, it's better than an inner tube, because obviously you've not had to stop. Nobody likes fixing inner tubes. Always shake your sealant before you put it in. This stuff is disgusting when you look inside. So if you look there, you can see all the carbon floating around in it. It looks like dirty bath water after you've shaved your legs. But that's the magic of it. So what it does is the carbon essentially forms like a nest over the hole and then helps the sealant plug it. Tubeless done. Easiest job in the world. Until you try it at home and explodes every car. Last tip, do not get tubeless sealant on anything. Don't get in your clothes, don't get in your curtains, your carpets. It'll never ever ever wash out. So go to a bike shop to get it done. And support your local bike shop. Like half of this is sealant stains. Definitely not jizz. It's probably the first time I've seen a combination where I like it, where everything is printed upright.
It's printed the right way.
Yeah, so your one thing is everything's upright instead of like half and half. And it's just finger tight, you don't have to tighten it more than that.
You're proud of me, Nick? I'm putting 650s back on the bike.
Yes. 650 is live. That's 46.2. Exactly. I like 650s. Firstly, I think there's a fundamental flaw in how bikes are designed, especially for shorter people. The wheel size is the limiting factor to geometry. Now, I know loads of people are going to argue with me saying, oh, they've got extra smalls, the extra smalls, the 700C wheels. But the issue is with 700C wheels, they'll have skinnier tires on. So when gravel was 700 by 38 or 40 mil, it didn't matter because the tire wasn't that big. But now that everybody's doing 700 by 50 mil, to design a really small frame, you have to actually angle out the head tube and the wheel base becomes a lot longer. So in that context, the bike just rides really sloppy. I just don't like it. Where 650B does two things. Firstly, it accelerates slightly faster, in my opinion. It gives you a slightly easier climbing gear. It also goes higher spoke tension, so it's a stiffer, stronger wheel. And the other thing that happens is your fork goes slightly lower to the ground, meaning your trail gets reduced. So the bike becomes a bit more aggressive. So it's just easier to pop it up things and to kind of steer through things. It just rides nicer. So Lucas rides with me 6'7", he still rides 650B. Both our bikes, we've got the exact same wheels in 700, 650. It's not like, if anything, I wish I preferred 700 because it's easier to get tires, but 650 just rides better. So yeah, everybody that goes out there saying it's not any good, I challenge them to see how long they've been riding it for. So we've done about 5 years now, and 2 of those years have been on 700 and other 3 has been on 650, and it's just every day of the week 650 for me is just nicer.
I've done 3 editions of Badlands for 650s.
Yeah.
No, 2 editions, sorry. 2 on 650s, 1 on... Wait, how many times have I done Badlands?
4.
2 on 650s, 1 on a 29er, which is 700C, and 1 on 700C.
So you'll get people arguments against it's going to be that attack angle on 700 or 29 is better. That's nonsense. It's better if you're going to hit a curb or a massive route. On what you're going to see on gravel, it makes no difference. Rene Hurst has done some studies as well, and it doesn't actually roll faster that you can visibly notice. Sorry, you can't actually, you wouldn't be able to notice the difference. But if you're going same size tire, so a 50mm tire 650B and a 50mm tire 700C, the 650B's got a smaller contact patch, meaning it's got less rolling resistance, so it's a faster wheel. So that whole thing of on long, smooth gravel, you're going to be faster with 700s, it's just not true. Also, if you look at the British Gravel National Champs, they're winning it at like 34 kilometers an hour average speed. Nobody rides fast enough to actually benefit out of any of these things people are claiming. Downhill, it's a completely different story. That's where they hit massive roots and rock sections, and they're hitting 80 plus k an hour on downhill courses. So that's a different thing. We're not talking mountain biking, we're talking gravel. If you ride a size small or extra small bike, yeah, I would ride 650B every day of the week. If I was Josh's size riding a road bike, I'd be on 650B wheels. The problem is tire manufacturers need to start making tires, a range of it, good ones for road bikes as well, not just gravel. So yeah, if there's only one thing you take away from this, the bikes look better with 650Bs. So it's like, if anything, argument-wise, is your bottom bracket lower slightly, so your saddle height lower, so if you're really into aero nonsense, your CDA gets decreased, so you're more aero. It's faster. Faster in every which way.